the button.
Hit the what?
What's in the box?
Hit the button.
Told me to hit the button.
All right. Hey, we're live, guys. Thanks to everyone joining us live. Real Deal Xbox Podcast. We are back yet again Tuesday nights every single week. Thanks for everyone that's here early. Everyone showing up. Let me hit this damn mute button. And of course, if you're here in the chat, thank you so much for what you do. Hit that like button, share it out for us as we get started. We got a phenomenal panel. Rukari Austin decided to stop by, or a recusal, according to Tim Dog. And we've got so many great topics, but I know Rukari wanted to give his take on everything that happened with this past Inside Xbox show, and he'll explain in detail, and we're going to definitely get there. I've got some Assassin's Creed Odyssey Ultra PC footage running at 60 FPS on a fucking Threadripper. Not even close to a gaming CPU, and manages to crush 60 no problem. Keep in mind, the CPU inside the PS5 and Series X is better at gaming than this Threadripper. There is no bottleneck here on these systems, so keep that in mind when you watch this thing. And, you're watching an open world epic at 60 FPS, and it absolutely does make the difference. So let's get into some introductions. We'll do some shout-outs, and, of course, we got a ton of great topics. Colt Eastwood, what's going on, buddy? The Naughty Dog at YouTube, bringing it back. What's going on?
I don't want to be called the Naughty Dog of YouTube because they're in too much controversy right now. So I'll be the Hideo Kojima of YouTube.
How about the Ubisoft of YouTube?
All right, Ubisoft of YouTube. The 30 FPS.
Coming at you, 30 FPS. Thanks for having me on the show. We've got a packed panel, so I won't take any more time than that.
All right. We've also got D-Bash. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? Good to be on the show. Taking a break. I don't know why everybody seems to want a PC built for them lately, so I've been really busy.
Probably because they heard about this 30 FPS shit. But yeah, thanks for joining us, D. We've also got Fonzarelli, the Grounded Gamer. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, it's great to be here.
All right. And then we've got XCloud Tim Dog floating down from the clouds. What's going on, bud?
Happy to be here. Let's get to it.
And then we've got Zalker87. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Getting ready to talk about this Inside Xbox. Rukari's going to give us every little insider ever. He's going to give us everything that's coming in July, too. Thanks, buddy, for coming on.
Yep. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to do it.
And speaking of Rukari, you know him from Inside Xbox. He was one of the best personalities on those damn shows, and he decided to drop into RDX tonight and give us some opinions on Inside Xbox. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining.
I'm glad to do it. Again, I'm here to hear the heat that's about to be thrown that way, because I know it's coming.
You throwing the fireballs? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not throwing the fireballs. I'm ready to listen to what I think. I will give you what I think happened and then hear your guys' response to that.
Okay, well, either way. And then we've also got BitCloud. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Looking forward to these topics. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. And somebody else just dropped a weird super chat. So, we've also got 600 already watching live. Guys, hit that like button if you haven't. Share this out for us. We do appreciate it. Retweet it. Let everyone know Rukari stopped by. Should be a really, really interesting show tonight on top of some already quite interesting topics. Speaking of topics, we got the people that kind of bring all this stuff to us, the verbal shoutouts on the Patreon, beginning with Snake Eyes, Assassin Lupo. We've also got Alec Gamer 4. We've got Frost did that shit to Dave. Tony Stark, RDX, shout out to him. We were in a party with him today. Pixel Witcher, KY Bob, Foreign Object, Teo, John Blue, Vec Boss, Devator X, Obi-Wan FTW, Scout Stripper 74, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, The Legend, Channelgram, Naughty Nub, and Alfonso Hogan, A Squad, Slim 73, and I'm sure there might be an update there. I need to go back and update that. And guys, I'll be posting that Patreon giveaway probably tonight. So if you're not a patron, sign up sooner than later. I'll be giving away some more games. Cody Swin, I'll start with you, buddy. And trust me, we got a ton of great topics tonight, guys, but we got to start with this one. It's kind of more interesting news. PlayStation rebranding, PlayStation publishing. Are they publishing everywhere, Colt? Because they kind of got like some wording in their new thing, and maybe they do, maybe they don't, but we'll kind of go over that. But PlayStation Studios badging and branding has kind of been redone, similar to Xbox Game Studios. We'll go to Colt and we'll get some other opinions. But what was your takeaway? Because there was some wording in there that kind of made you curious about a few things.
Not everywhere. Their wording, which I can read to you, was that they are going to, for future titles, they will be using this branding of PlayStation Studios for their future titles that are on other platforms. So this is expected because they've kind of been warming people up like a frog in a pot of water slowly coming to the boil to be ready for first-party games going on other platforms. Like this is something that you're not used to if you're only on PlayStation.
So
But
I mean,
this is
explain it.
something-
Like they released kind of a game kind of publishing, like kind of like the Inside Xbox thing, where it showed all the different brands and IPs inside of the Xbox logo, and then it kind of falls out and it says Xbox has no games, real big. What is
Right.
so? But for PlayStation, right? It's kind of their version of it, but apparently it had something kind of like this 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, they had a little animation that was very similar to the Xbox Game Studios animation, which apparently we found out after we talked about it was something they've kind of evolved from a few years ago. So this is kind of the way they're going. We were talking before the show, but this is money they can't just let lie there. They have to take advantage of expanding the platform. I don't think a single first-party game from PlayStation will come to Xbox. Maybe Switch.
MLB
I
The
don't think
Show.
so. Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of weird. But I think we're going to see some of these games that PlayStation is making coming to PC, and I will be a day and date thing. Not we're going to make money 3 years later. That's not how it works. I think if they want to make this money, they need to make it right away. So if they make a Horizon Zero Dawn 2, they're ready to unleash this game on PC, on Steam, or on some platform. I don't know if they'll pick Epic or what, or if they'll have their own, but this is something they're readying their fans for, to expand the platform.
Right now, it seems like they're kind of using Steam, right, Zalker?
Yeah, I think this is like, this just exemplifies that it's coming to PC. I think all their first parties coming to PC. One of the quotes that he said was, "A lot of the regular people that play don't know the games that are being made are made by us." Like, he said that. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, buddy? We have to buy a PlayStation to play it. That's how we know it's from you. It's an exclusive. So are you trying to dictate to what people like outside of the platform are going to be playing? That's what I got from that, is that, hey, this is coming to other platforms other than PlayStation. And Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Like Colt just said, it's going to PC. All these other games are going to be coming to PC. It's a wide open market. The market of gaming has changed completely. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to be shown now, is that they're going to have this thing come up and people are going to know it's a PlayStation game. If you buy it on Steam, just like when you launch Gears Tactics on Steam, you have to log into Xbox Live. Like you're actually given the choice, and then the Xbox Game Studios logo comes up. That's what's going to happen when you get on PC and you play a PlayStation game. The logo is going to pop up just like that. And that
and
to me
is
is what
give you some trophies, Zalker.
Don't give
on Steam is going to get some trophies, huh?
If they connect it, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people have been hesitant to connect their network to PSN. And I'm not even saying that to hate on it. Like, I'm just saying that's just a fact. A lot of big companies don't want to go there because of the security, like basically breaches that they've had in the past. I think they'd have to do a lot of work for Steam and other companies to feel comfortable doing that. I think one company that might feel is Epic, because then they can get a shortcut to a lot of good games and have their platform stand out a lot. So that's
I want to get Tim Dog and then Big Cloud's take on this. I don't want to stay on this too long, but Tim Dog, you saw kind of the logo fly in, you saw they rebranded things, and you see kind of the future. We've seen this for so long. In my opinion, I think they're bringing their games to every device, just like their job listings have said, through PS Now or otherwise. They will end up on your cell phones, your toasters, and of course, your remote control can openers. What are your thoughts on the new publishing logo and the way you think they might brand things regarding all their new titles or maybe in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as drastic as what Colt was saying, but yeah, I'm along the lines that this is going to be something that you see, especially with the show. That we know that game is going to be multi-plat. It's going to be on Xbox, Nintendo. But the thing that struck me was it was very similar to the released Xbox Game Studio. The way it was that trailer that they showed or whatever, the logo of how it starts up. So very similar. Is it a big deal? I don't know. I'm not going to draw too much into it. Like, this is a definitive thing that is going to be showing up all over the place. I just kind of think that they're kind of doing what Microsoft is doing. They're establishing the studios. They're showing its trademark and take it from there. I mean, obviously, they have an unbelievable, first party. So I thought, like I said, I thought it was very similar, but I thought it was also, in a way, both of them were well done. The trailers or whatever the studio, however you want to call that.
The little publishing
was Spider-Man
reel,
in there? Was Spider-Man in that?
He was.
Yeah, I was.
Spider-Man's on PS now, so if it does end up going over.
On the logo, on the
No, I'm talking
animation.
about on the logo.
Yeah, I remember.
Deacon wasn't. Order 1886 wasn't on there. Spider-Man wasn't on there.
Horizon Zero Dawn was on there.
Yeah, God of War was on there.
I think it's definitely got something to do with kind of some announcements coming up. Probably JD Gamer basically saying he's seen a lot of people minimize because largely they don't understand BC Pack and the velocity architecture, how important this is to the future. It's the very reason you have to have games installed on that internal or external SSD, the cartridge version for Series X. If you are playing an optimized or Xbox Series X patch game, you have to have it on one of those drives because of those architectures. And that does allow you, JD, you're right. People are minimizing it, but it's very important because it does allow you to have 100 gigabytes of game assets ready to go. And through that compression block they have, they can actually shoot that into memory and use that virtual memory to do things that really have never been done in gaming. It's extremely important, and it will help kind of level the playing field in terms of assets. And I'm not sure which system can have how much or more or less, but long story short, what we're hearing is it's kind of a phenomenal system for both. And yeah, I've talked a little bit about that, but I mean, kind of a wait and see type thing. Sorry for those super chats. We'll try to get to them, but guys, good discussion right now. Honestly, when it comes down to the new studio logos and stuff like that, Ryan, or BitCloud rather, you are convinced that they'll kind of bring stuff to the PC or other places later on in the future.
Yeah, now somebody said, I think it was Cold, he said Switch. I don't think they'll ever bring it to Switch. PC seems to be the more likely one they'll do because they already opened the door.
Was MLB The Show confirmed for Switch? Is that what you're talking about?
Nintendo did have a tweet when the show.
Oh, they did tweet about that, didn't they? When the show was going multi-plat, so they might have it on the Switch, Ryan. I think that's what he's talking about.
What MLB The Show?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow. I mean, yeah, true, but they're also that was going through another.
I think that's what he was talking about when he said Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is your thoughts on this new?
I was saying not likely. Yeah. I was saying not likely on Switch. For most of their stuff.
Yeah, but for the PC, sure, yeah, PC, I can definitely see more dropping on there. I said it before that Horizon Zero Dawn really is the determining game as to whether or not you'll see them do it like really as quickly as you will see them do it as much, like more often, or in like the I would say sporadic approach, right? Like you see Microsoft does day and date. Really, it depends on those cells, honestly, as to when they're gonna do this. But right now, it looks like they're gearing up for it.
Well, sorry, people are saying the stream's kind of lagging. That's kind of not normal, so bear with us, guys. I don't know exactly what's going on.
It's doing it here. It's probably on YouTube's end, but it's not. It buffers every once in a while. Not a big deal.
I'll go ahead and pause mine and try to save some bandwidth there. Maybe that'll help a little. I don't know. But when it comes,
save some bandwidth.
Save some bandwidth. Yeah, I don't know. Like if I'm watching it back, right? Like it, obviously,
it's not your bandwidth. Make sure you're not uploading anything. It's your upload speed to the thing. Your bandwidth doesn't matter to it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to relieve the strain.
I'm just trying to help you actually fix it.
Well, actually helped it. No, okay. So basically, Colt, I mean, you're saying that their wording it does kind of imply what we've already known. They're going to be bringing things to other platforms. Everything that comes to a different platform will have that logo, and that's kind of how they will brand things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also confirmed that this is what you'll see when you boot up the first party. So again, that's their new brand. They're gonna do this shit. Eventually, you'll see everything on here, day and date. Eventually,
man, you sound like you gotta ramp up some fucking charisma, Big Cloud. Jesus,
I rank up charisma.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to
doing that,
are you okay with it, Big Cloud?
We don't
sound like you just took some Zoloft, Big Cloud, when you said that. You're like, yeah, it's gonna be on everything.
Let's talk about puzzles.
Hey, but if they,
how do you feel about that though, Big Cloud? How do you feel?
Big Cloud, how does it feel to kind of just that everyone else knew that forever, but the Sony guys just are now finding this out? It's kind of weird.
Doesn't bother me.
Well, either way, we got to give a shout out to almost 1,200 people watching this live, guys. Right now, hit that like button, share this out if you haven't. We do appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic, I guess, since Big Cloud ain't got nothing else to say on it.
Wait, no, I got one for him, and I want to see what he thinks about it. I would love to see.
Go ahead.
In a time where they've already been confirmed to not have as many teraflops as Series X, whatever, and they're, I wouldn't say grasping at straws. I think this is a marketing play, A, for all the people who may not know that all of these games are only on PlayStation, but B, harping on what everybody talks about right now with PlayStation and knocks Xbox for, which is where the games. So I feel like going into this console series launch, they're trying to refresh in people's minds that this is the only place where you can get these games. Sure, you can have them elsewhere and whatnot. No, that's a longer play as well. But I guarantee it's a big strategy right now to start talking about this, to keep people talking in a positive.
That makes a lot of sense, Rukari. Actually, I actually like what you said there. That makes perfect sense about what they're trying to do. I know, if it's even no fault of their own, Sony has been under a lot of criticism the last couple weeks, with the Last of Us leaks and all this stuff. I think it was a good time for them to do this. And also, this is a topic later. I think it's a good time for them to show Ghost of Tsushima on Thursday. I think they're trying to get a lot of positive feedback and try to get things like pointed in the right direction towards their brand. Because right now there is a lot of hate going towards them, and this could be a good. Yeah, I agree with you. Basically, good job.
Well, I don't know what's happening because OBS said it disconnected.
We're still on as far as I can see.
I just reduced the bit rate on OBS's side, so the footage won't look as good, but hopefully it'll stay up. It kind of sucks, man. I really wanted to show you guys this game running like it is and looking.
Not even you can get it at 60.
30 frames per second.
I know, like I think YouTube's having some issue, guys. So bear with us. We do appreciate it. Just fucking figures, right? So again, Rukari, I think that was.
Rukari's causing the lag. He's admitted to it now.
Rukari,
I don't know how I'm doing that, but ready to get back on this treadmill.
Just tone it down a little bit. Tone it down a little bit.
He said, "I got to get back on this treadmill and lose some weight."
The screen looks okay, dude. I'm looking at the screen right now. It's okay. It's pretty decent.
Okay. Well, hopefully, guys, you're not experiencing any issues. If you are, like I said, check it out. It should still upload and stuff, but hopefully it's working. Steam, the summer game reveal thingy for Tony Hawk today, Cole. I'll give this to you real quick because it's a super short one before we get into some more interesting stuff. But they did confirm the first. What did they confirm today?
The
Tony
remaster
Hawk?
for 1 and 2. Yeah,
Tony Hawk?
for Tony Hawk. Open it up with Dead Kennedy's Police Truck, like a classic song that you heard like a million times playing the game. It looks really good. And they showed about as much gameplay as Xbox did the entire show. It's great.
Showed twice as much.
Is anybody buying that? Like, I'm legit.
Hell yes. I already pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
I already did.
I'm going to buy it.
I'm buying it 100%, dude. I freaking love those games growing up.
Yeah, I just hope that my 2 times older self than when I played that, I still hope that I still enjoy that. But, man, I used to play the heck out of those games. And you're jumping like 40 feet in the air and doing like 70 tricks in one aerial move, so... that's cool.
Free roam, man. Where
they hooked me by saying that you got a demo on the warehouse. Just like, remember when you used to get demo discs from Pizza Hut?
Oh, yeah.
That's how I first got into Tony Hawk, was a demo disc that had the warehouse.
The Pizza Hut demo disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw that on the dashboard and I was like, oh, fuck you guys. I'm hooked.
Were you guys getting skate vibes when he was doing the kickflips? Like you control the board? Remember Skate the game?
The skate games. No, I didn't play.
I was getting kind of skate vibes doing certain tricks when they zoomed in on the board.
Did you play that game back in the day, or were you born yet?
No, I'm talking about like when they zoomed in on the board and like the board.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let me change the Tony Hawk talk because I'm about to fucking die. Sean Murray, he says, "Hey, Deal RDX is the best. I'm about to drop a code for Jedi Fallen Order, one of the best games of last year, by the way. If you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, it's absolutely fantastic." Sean Murray, give him a thumbs up in the chat. He's about to drop a code for you guys just because he cares. So we're going to go ahead and move forward to, we'll kind of let Fonzarelli lead this one because he's been bitching on Twitter a lot here lately. Assassin's Creed Valhalla limited to 30 FPS, question mark. Ubisoft say it will run at least 30 FPS on Series X. And common 60F is not a mandate, according to Xbox. We all already knew that. They don't mandate any developer to do anything, so developers can choose. But here's the deal with Ubisoft. Apparently, they are not confirming 60 FPS for Valhalla on Series X. And I do have to say this, first and foremost, that console is more than capable of running that game at 60 FPS. And I had been saying this in the party all last night. The only reason I could think that it would be limited to 30 FPS is for some reason, if they tied the physics to the frame rate. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me. But the PC version, as you're seeing now with Odyssey and every other Assassin's Creed before, it's not really the case. So I feel like they could get around that. But yeah, they're not really confirming otherwise, Fonz. This has set a lot of people off, myself included, especially you on Twitter. We do not want to buy this fucking new $500 box for 30 more frames. I'm not sure if I'll buy it until it gets a patch for higher performance if it's not there day one. What about you? Bonzarelli.
You waited all week for this.
Of course.
And
I was muted. I was
Jeez.
trying to
Oh my
talk and
God.
I was
He's
muted.
like,
I was sitting there talking and all of a sudden I noticed.
And
it
you do
was
got to
muted.
say, like, you do got to tell people, like,
Here's
this,
the thing.
Yeah.
Some outlets are confirming that this was confirmed by Ubisoft, that it is only 30 frames.
No,
on
that's
the
a
Series
headline.
X. Well, I'm just saying, like, it's weird because some articles are saying that it will only be 30 frames, while others are like up in the air about it. My point is this: what is the point of buying a next gen console if we're not really moving into next gen territory? For me, like this generation, it's all been about the visuals and stuff, and we've had some pretty damn good visuals. I mean, look on the screen right now. AC Odyssey is a thing to behold.
Well,
It's
Slow-Mo
beautiful.
says this stream sponsored by Greenberg's webcam. Yeah, right now we're having some technical difficulties. I've had to reduce the bandwidth, the bitrate stuff. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, AC Odyssey is beautiful. If I could get even just those visuals the way they are on my One X and get 60 frames with that, and that is not at full 4K, people, I would be happy with that. But unfortunately, it seems like, some of these devs, which I said here on RDX a couple of months ago, I said some developers will push for those graphics because that's just the way they sell these consoles. Too many casuals out there really don't care about frame rates or don't know about frame rates. And that is the problem.
That hasn't stopped other developers from giving you the option, though.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. And there's still a chance that Ubisoft could make a performance mode and give us 60 frames at, say, 1440p or even a dynamic 4K, which I'm fine with. You could do that checkerboarding magic if you want, and I'm good with that. But as of right now, if it stands that it's only a 30 frames per second game on the Series X, I'm saying right here, right now, I'm not buying that game. As much as I want to play that game, I am not buying it simply based on principle. Look, we're going into next gen. I want next gen like experiences. For me, looking at all these graphics and everything, ray tracing and stuff, it's beautiful, yes, but I'd rather have the performance there. I'm tired of playing these open world games at 30 frames per second. Every time we get a 60 frames per second game on the One X, it looks great. It looks good enough by far, and it plays well. Like, that is what I want to be accustomed to in this next generation.
The friendly neighborhood blue shell, he's got our back on this. And again, guys, if you're damage controlling this, stop it. Like, there were people damage controlling the fact they didn't stream their Xbox event the other day at more than 30 FPS on YouTube. That's fucking unacceptable. Frame rate is one of the biggest lures to this new box, and there's no excuse.
And can we just stop with?
Go ahead, finish that up.
Can we just stop with this narrative about how you don't want your games to look like a soap opera? This has nothing to do with TV and movies. Yeah, some people are out there saying, "Well, these developers don't want their want it to look like a soap opera. They want it
Trust
to look
me,
cinematic."
developers want 60
Get
FPS
over it.
too. So here's what Neighborhood Blue Shell says. He says 60 FPS or death. He says that is all for next gen. There's no excuse. The CPU is so much better than Jag cores, and they still have 30 FPS games. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, sir. You are absolutely 1,000,000% correct. I have to stress this a lot. Zen 2, 7 nanometer, 3.8 gigahertz, 3.6 if you got 16 threads. No problem. We'll run these games at 60 FPS. There's no bottleneck at 60 FPS for any title. We had 2 developers on 3 or 4 weeks ago that both said the same thing. There is no bottleneck at all holding any game from hitting 60 FPS. If you don't want to take it from us, take it from them.
Shout out to all the dumbass Sony fanboys that are running around talking about how, 12 T-flops ain't enough. This ain't about a power situation. This isn't that there's not enough power. The situation is these developers are choosing to allocate that power in other areas besides performance.
Well, we think they have not officially confirmed it. They said that it will run at least 30 FPS.
Is that what they said? Was that the word? Did they say
at least 30 FPS?
At least.
Oh, see, you guys got to start reading into the little bullshit words that they throw in there. Like, if they say, and I'm looking at it now, we'll run at a minimum of 30 FPS. That's just them covering their ass.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that something's not done that they can commit to, but they know what their baseline is, worst case scenario, and they're already trying to either prep for we under promise and over deliver, or say, hey, yeah, we're working to make this happen, but we're going to give you at least this now.
Rukari,
like you said,
like,
developers want that.
They already said it's running at 4K, just half the resolution, boom, right there, or checkerboard it, do what you got to do. But
because
I mentioned
something
the physics
happens
tied
and
to
they
the frame
promise
rate,
and they can't do it, they get sued.
It's
like that's it. That's just
though.
it. It sucks.
They can
sucks.
do it. There's no excuse.
But if they haven't done it, they can do it. Those are two very different things.
So tell the chat, tell the audience here. We got over 1,500 people watching live again. If you guys haven't hit the like button, share it out. We do appreciate it. Rukari is going to kind of give you a little bit of insight from his days working at Killer Instinct and what you were saying about the performance there and how they tied certain things to the performance.
Oh, yeah. So I mentioned with KI that certain animations were tied to specific frames and that frame rate. And that would cause issues for the engine. Like people got mad at KI for not going unlimited frame rate, right? When we finally launched on PC, hey, if we've got the power, let us go. And KI was like, no, because these animations, especially in fighting games, are tied to that. Could be the case for Assassin's Creed. I don't think 60.
On PC?
It was 60, even on the PC, because the animations were tied.
Gotcha.
Like literally tied to that frame rate. If you go any faster, it looked like the animations were sped up.
But even Odyssey and all these other games on PC, it's like, I can run this game.
Now, if it's already out, that just makes me believe that they are hitting a snag. Not that they're not targeting it or wanting to do that. And because it's not working right now, if they legitimately see a world in which they can't publish that, which would mean that they have to say it'll be at a minimum, because that leaves the door open one way to say, yeah, we can go up to 60 if we want, because it's just going to be at a minimum. But they're not saying no 60 either. Sounds like something's wrong.
Yeah, dude.
Like
Assassin Lupa is going savage mode. She says, I'll never buy a Ubisoft game again if it's not. God damn. Yeah, we're trying to be respectful and say, and let Ubisoft know, like, hey, we're big fans. Like, I loved Odyssey. We were one of the few that really repped Odyssey from day one and said, look, it's not full of all this bullshit like people are telling you. The quests are gated the same way Witchers are. No one complained about that. All this stuff. And we really love the game. I'm playing it right now on the screen, right, on PC. And we got to say, be respectful if you're asking for this. But according to my knowledge, unless they've tied something, physics or otherwise, to the frame rate on the console version, then there's no excuse whatsoever. The CPU is more capable than the one I'm playing it on in this footage. The GPU is more capable than the one I'm playing it on. I got a 2080. I'm playing it on a 2080 in this footage. It's got more memory bandwidth. It's running, with plenty of hard SSD bandwidth apparently. So, I mean, there's just no excuse at all. It's none. I can't think of one. So
the only thing I can think of is the engines it's developed on, right? Because there's a lot of developers that have taking the time to actually push their games back. Look at EA. There's no Battlefield this year, and they said specifically because they're getting their engine and their developers ready for the next-gen consoles. They want to actually take advantage of the features and power there. The only thing I can think of is that these developers need time to understand what the machine is capable of, right? We don't see games like God of War come out of nowhere first year the PS4 is out. It's not the way it works. So I can understand maybe that's the reason why Ubisoft's not be able to do it, maybe the next Assassin's Creed, but I fully expect the next year and a half, if not longer, because of what we're dealing with in the world, for developers to take some time with these new consoles. I think first party is going to be the number one thing where we get the developers actually taking the most out of the system, especially with Unreal, like Unreal Engine. I think that system's like way ahead because a lot of first party developers in Xbox are using it. A lot of them
I don't think that's nearly the issue. Like, you got to remember that this is the first time we're going from x86 to x86 machine language for the first time ever.
But
you don't have to. You're using all this crazy hardware.
Coded.
It is, but you got to understand that this stuff comes down from PC easier than ever. Like, it's easier than ever to develop for these systems. You don't have to, and that's the problem I had.
Is custom to console. It's not on PC.
You're right. It's even easier. They got 100 gigs of virtual memory now.
Yeah, why can't they just scale back a little bit for a 60 frames per second mode?
And
it doesn't seem like
let me mention Tom Warren's tweet real quick, because I don't know how much he knows about hardware, how much he really plays games or anything, but he did say that he didn't know why he didn't know why people expected to see next generation games at a next gen games reveal, like we saw with Killzone and like we saw with Rise and like we saw in 2013 we saw a ton of games that blew our minds. There's no excuse to damage control it like this. But long story short, I mean, I would say to Tom that developers don't have that learning curve they once had. This is not the same as going from Cell and PowerPC architecture, completely custom, to these monstrous x86 PC machine language consoles. There's nothing to do with that.
I just say real quick. First of all, I totally agree with you. These next generation consoles have a power target. These developers know the power target, and they have similar hardware that's available to them now if they don't have a dev kit optimized for that game. Now, Ubisoft games traditionally for the PC are pretty horrible for optimization, to be honest with you. A 2080 Ti, you have to make concessions to run that game at 4K 60. You can't run it with all the settings up. It's just a really demanding game. So I'm pretty sure with the next generation consoles, these guys are saying, wow, we can do this, we can do that, we can add ray tracing, we can do this. They're going all out, and I don't think they're concentrating on 60 frames per second, because that same game is going to run 60 frames per second on the PC. So I don't think it's a situation like Killer Instinct where it's tied to the animations.
It's going to be 60 frames on the Stadia, for crying out loud.
The problem here
You're awesome.
is the optimization of it. And I think they're trying to test the waters to see how far they can go. And gamers, honestly, you need to stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough. This coming generation, we want our games at a minimum of 60 frames per second. And there's no reason
option, right?
There's no reason why Assassin's Creed Valhalla can't have a 60 frames per second mode. Now, if they want to target 4K, 30 frames per second, they want to target 4K, variable frame rate, and you use your VSync TV or your OLED, whatever, or a monitor to get smooth frames, fine. But at least have a 60 frames per second mode. Now, if that's at 1800p, if that's fucking checkerboarded, if it's dynamic resolution, I don't care. The 60 frames per second should be in every single game mode and every single next generation game. If it's 1440p, okay. Even if it's fucking 1080p, I don't care. 60 frames per second needs to be a standard. I play on PC primarily the last 2 years. I got tired of console and 30 frames per second games. And I feel bad for console gamers still being stuck playing 30 frames per second games, and especially when the next generation, not just the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, both of them can do 4K, not 4K 60. Well, let's walk that back.
Frame rate is not an issue for either.
Both of them can do 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
No issues. So this is unacceptable. And unless gamers make their voices heard, developers, they're going to try to do whatever they can do.
And that's the problem I have. I
don't care about 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second.
I have to say something about these. I have to say something about what he just said. I have to piggyback off of what gamers have to do. They have to voice their concerns. They have to voice their opinions here. Do it in a nice way, of course.
Yes.
But here's the thing. This is why I hate, and I'm going to try to be as delicate here. This is why I hate the whole fanboy, the whole console war and stuff, because it seems like a lot of people have taken a stand against Microsoft, so much so that they have taken a stand against 60 frames per second on these consoles. It seems like these idiots, I said I was going to be nice about it, but I messed up. But you've got some people out here that seem to have taken a stand and said, well, we told you guys that this was going to happen. I mean, I even knew this was going to happen. But the thing
we all said it could be a possibility. Yeah, it's up to the developers.
Exactly. But the thing is, you guys should be vocal about this. It seems like some of these people out here on the other side, on the Sony side, are like, they've taken this stand to where they're like, look, I'm good with it. It's the developer's choice, blah, blah, blah. Those types of attitudes ain't going to give us anything. It ain't going to do no good for these next-gen consoles. You guys should be joining with people like me in this fight for this situation. I mean, we need better frame rates.
Now, a lot of people are pissed about this. Like, I retweeted that, and like 2,000 likes in a day or something. Like, I mean, that's insane for me, right? So, I mean, a lot of people are really pissed about that. So, by the way, shout out to Chris Grinnell, became a channel member. Thanks so much, sir. Do appreciate it.
Gamers need to come together. Gamers need to come together and well, this isn't PlayStation versus Xbox. This is not PlayStation versus Xbox.
I don't see that's the part I didn't understand today. Why are guys saying, "Oh, it's a big L, 12 teraflops"? Now, if it's running at 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X, what the fuck do you think it's going to run on the PlayStation 5? What are we doing?
Well, it's become.
A lot of people asked me that in my stream. They was like, "Well, is it confirmed that the 60 on PS5?" I'm like, "Well, again, if it's running 30 on Xbox, now obviously it's going to be running 30 on PS5."
And none of that's even confirmed. Rob C, by the way, Super Chase says, "Let's go." Yes, let's go. Tim Dog, were you saying something, bud?
No, I just feel like it's like kind of like politicized or console war size. It's like what you guys said. Yeah, obviously you look at the specs of the systems, PS5 and Xbox. You're gonna get a 4K or up to 4K 60 frames per second standard. I think that's it's pretty obvious that you can just looking at the specs and what's going on there. In this particular case, there's still a lot of unknowns. The developer, we don't know where they are in the developmental cycle. We don't know if they are actually gunning to do 60 frames per second. I would hold my water on that, on the situation, but I get why people are upset. But what was Grounded was saying is that you did have the Sony guys say, ha, 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 look, you're getting 30 frames per second. What a monster. And, I think that's stupid from you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Let me jump in.
Let me make my point. But overall, it's just something that shouldn't be politicized or anything. You really should, as a gamer, want the best for your next generation system.
Yeah, you should not want this in any way whatsoever.
So first of all, the whole console war with this thing is just stupid. That doesn't mean anything. Like, that does nothing for anybody. We want both systems to run at 60. They're both capable of running at 60. The only thing I would say as a console gamer is that choice was never one of the biggest things people asked for on console. That's like mods, all this stuff. Choice was never emphasized. People never said, oh, this. Every time I've talked to somebody at console, all they ever said is they want to plug and play. That's it. So when they're given the choice now to be like, well, you can run it at 60 or performance mode, that's new to them. A lot of my friends, it's like, wait, what the hell does that mean? And that's it. So the demand for that market is not open source. PC has always been open source. This is why they are given that. PC's been like, give me mods or fucking die. Give me this or die. Give me this or I'm not going to fucking buy it. But that's just what PC gamers do. They want it open sourced. They want everything open to them. And that's what the market demanded. And games that didn't provide them that fucking got crushed by the PC community. And Fonz is right. If console gamers all of a sudden want this choice, you need to show with your wallet. For me, I buy a console to plug and play. I play PC when I want to fuck around and do crazy shit. That's what I do. So, because I think D and I are a little bit of the minority where we play on PC and Xbox and console and PlayStation. And that's just, to me, it's a weird little thing. Like, I remember this reminds me of Xbox Live, where people got mad that they pay for Xbox Live. Well, that's your fault. You paid for it. You paid for it for years. That's what you gave them. They said, all right, that's what the market wants. So if the market wants something different, ask for it and then demand it with your wallet. That's all it's going to be. And that's all on us, everybody listening. That's all on the console gamer. The console gamer needs to demand what the market is going to be. I think first party is going to be 60. That's why Aaron said the standard will be 60. For him to say that as an Xbox executive means first party games will run at 60 to me. That's, and if it doesn't,
importantly,
huge
because
L.
they can and they know they can.
But I'm talking Halo Infinite. I'm talking Halo Infinite. That's gonna fucking look insane, like everybody.
I mean,
said,
I'm just saying
Fable.
that it doesn't matter what game. There is no game out there I can think of that wouldn't run 60 on the.
No, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But the choice of it needs to be there. The console gamers need to demand.
And that's what I was telling people in the chat, or people that didn't like our Inside Xbox reaction show we did. We didn't really care for that show a lot at all. There's no need to damage control that stuff. There, as a debut for next generation gameplay, there was not one single Rise Son of Rome moment there. There was not one single mind-blowing next-gen moment there for a box that is fucking incredibly capable on all fronts. But and essentially we streamed at 30 FPS.
Bright Memory looked good on the system, but that was pretty much it.
Bright Memory, and even that was streamed at 30 FPS on YouTube. And it's like there were so many layers of okay, this could have been better, and we were just disappointed because we want to see Xbox do better. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, and they have come out and apologized for that show. They said that, they shouldn't have done it that way. I think that, I said it on a Stubbs cast. I did a one-on-one kind of interview thing there, and I said that I feel like they need more games that shut people down, shut them up. Why am I buying this box? Oh, Hellblade 2 looks insane, right? A Hellblade 2 moment. We need a couple of those for a debut of this kind of power, at least. And that just wasn't there, and I was hoping we'd see bigger third-party AAAs maybe. Rukari, you again used to run these Inside Xboxes and plan all this stuff out, and what was your thought to that Inside Xbox or that next-gen gameplay debut, and what happened?
First, they were never going to win.
They could have.
No. I would challenge you guys all to remember that even the 1,700 or 1,800 that are here watching right now, anyone that you may come in contact with and talk anything gaming about is in the top 1% of gamers, right? We're the people that know things. We're the people that consume information. These
We're
things are
crazy.
created for the masses. Yeah, we're crazy, but you're right. The
masses gave it 50,000 dislikes in an hour.
That's not the masses.
Damn
That's
it,
still
Rukari,
that top
Okay,
tier
I get it.
percent. The masses are the people that scroll by on Facebook and happen to catch a glimpse of a video, look for 30 seconds, and they've made their snap judgment.
Yep. And they saw
Some
Dino
more of the
Crisis
elite that
0.5, and they're like, nope.
No crisis.
So, with that said, and understanding that they still put together what I think was a great show, all things considered. And when I say all things considered, I mean all things COVID considered. Because I have a feeling we should have seen Halo by now. Like, if you look at their past tendencies, given how big campaign and multiplayer usually is, like, I have a feeling they had other plans. And that's me having been laid off a year ago. Like, I don't know what their plans are, but I know their tendencies. I thought the show was terrible. And this is just me being, I worked on it. Again, you said my job was to construct it.
Well,
there's
like,
just so many. And my job was also, right after every show, we would deconstruct it and talk about everything that went well and went poorly. And it felt like, and this is the problem that I have with Xbox as a whole when I work there and even now, is it was a PR message that came off as disingenuous, talking to those 1% that want you to talk to them like a fucking adult. Like, that's what made me mad. So the word gameplay pissed me off because I knew long ago that gameplay could mean any number of things. But, you know, like, I don't expect you all to know that too, because I've been in the machine and I see how loosely it's thrown around. But it sets an expectation. And then you start to get in this echo chamber of, we're doing great stuff. This is amazing. This is fun. And PR is signing off on it. And all these things are happening. And I'm just watching, like, I'm the cynical one. Like, I feel like I'm absolutely the cynical one.
You're in the corner.
So
This is trash.
Yeah, like, let's look at it like it's trash, and maybe we'll make some stuff that people are going to be happy with. I still don't think anyone's going to be happy. I put out a tweet that said, hey, you know, with all this new stuff coming out, and we're supposed to see all these great frame rates and crazy textures and whatnot, I was like, how are we going to tell if we're watching a stream, first of all, on Mixer? And then Graham responded to me, just says, well, it's at 4K on YouTube. Hold on, sorry, this goddamn fire truck. There it goes.
Just throwing fireballs.
Damn fire truck.
And I remember I almost said back, Graham, you know, people are gonna bitch, and rightfully so. I'm not saying anything. Let me not use the word bitch as a negative thing, but you're not going to be able to tell how good anything looks. And I knew that they had to be planning, like, trailers. I thought it was gonna be more like the Bright Memory trailers, and boy, was I mad. And then I got mad about other things too, like, we had Aaron start out with that shitty webcam, and we saw booty. And but I love Aaron to death.
He's a good guy.
We saw booty.
But I could, his booty, Matt Booty. Like, I don't know. I used to work for him way back in the day. I was calling Booty. But then I saw this brand new guy that was talking to me, and it felt like he was talking down to me, or like he was telling me why I should have been excited rather than showing me why I should be excited. Motherfucker said interwebs. You know how mad I was that he said interwebs?
He said, motherfucker said interwebs.
He said
Somebody put that in the
interwebs.
comments.
And I'm sitting there, and he's just, he's got this soft-spoken voice, and he's saying words like processing and units, and I'm like, this is not how we talk. And I started to sit there wondering, I'm like, who are you? And I knew then that the show was gonna piss me off. But it was just, I applaud them for putting it together and getting something out there. I think, and this is where I always got in trouble, they just need to have a real evaluation on who they are and who they want to talk to and how they do that. And yes, this is a COVID time, and they just made this big deal out of what was nothing. Maybe embrace that it's nothing. Stop letting PR get their hands into everything. Do you guys remember, like, Outside Xbox, the old Inside Xbox crew from the UK that got laid off and created their own show?
Yeah.
Sit and talk to us on the couch. Get rid of the Larrys and the whoever this guy was that was clearly from PR, and talk to us like people. Like, we need a shepherd to walk us through it. I felt disoriented going from trailer to trailer to trailer. And I felt angrier from trailer to trailer to trailer because I felt like I wasn't seeing what was going on. Anyway, it felt like a shit show. I'm not excited for June. I'm not excited for July. I don't think anything's going to change. It happens all the time. They're constantly making up for their presentations. I'm not talking about their console's power.
So what would you do if you were running the show and you had the beanbag gun, right? I mean, what would you do differently?
This is where I get into what can you do differently, because I understand why they had to do certain things. Like, didn't it sound like the guy was reading from a script?
Yeah.
And not in a bad way, but he had to, like a gun was to his head. And I know, I get that happens with PR. God, when they were doing xCloud stuff.
Wording. Yeah.
Yeah. When we did a pre-recorded xCloud interview, or actually, do you guys remember XO last year where they did the xCloud interview and you could tell this lady was trying to say a line and she could not hit it for the life of her? Yep. I just feel like whenever anything, the messaging gets that tight and that wordy, it is not going to come off as genuine and it's just going to be a total miss. Like, that's the only thing that I can think of to change. And I wish I could throw out a way to best change it, because I get, again, why they had to do it. There was a reason why Assassin's Creed said this game will run at a minimum of 30 frames per second, because they have to be precise in that wording, or otherwise they're going to set expectations. So I don't know. There were things that irked me. I don't know what they could have really done better, but they need to relook at their entire strategy as a brand. And I'm not saying bring someone like me back. They need to find a shepherd, though. They need to find more shepherds, people that are trustworthy. I just didn't trust the entire presentation.
Well, you were definitely one of the best people on all of Inside Xbox. I told you this last time, and it's not a lie. I would say that I could easily say that for, even if they got that stuff right, and they didn't have Sarah Bond up there, you know, I thought that was kind of a weird speech and how that was delivered. But, you know, again, everyone kind of has their first or second time doing that kind of thing. I would say that if you're going to debut next-gen gameplay running on something like this, it's got to be jaw-dropping, and you've got to at least stream it at 60 FPS. Like,
I don't think that would have mattered.
Yeah, I think
then you're dealing with
though.
People's screens that are not calibrated, and
well, I mean, that's their problem. They don't know the difference anyway if they ain't even calibrating their shit. I'm just saying that if I'm watching, our tune would be completely different. And I know we're the 1%, the 5%, whatever we are, but it's a big community. And I think it all goes a long way. I think that you got to show nobody. Hellblade shut people down. They shut them up. And whether or not you know what that means or not, you know that it looked good. And you gotta show that kind of stuff as a debut for your next gen gameplay. That's just my opinion. Like, some will disagree. We're not talking shit on the games that were there. I'll buy most of those games. I'm saying that you need jaw droppers, and you need a lot of them. And we knew there would be a lot of AA, but we did expect at least a couple. Just gorgeous and bright. Memory was good looking, but it's not going to cut it. And even that was streamed at 30 FPS, and it's not even the same trailer in that regard. So I don't know, man.
Here's what was wrong with this show. I pointed this out because I think this is pretty obvious. The thing that was missing from the show is you can't just show cinematic trailers mixed with super jump cut montages of actual gameplay, because I would say almost half of that footage was gameplay that was just so short you couldn't actually feel what the game would feel like when you're watching it. And what they need to do is they need to show the footage, and they need to have the developers speak on why this game is special to next generation, or why to have a developer from Codemasters say, because of the Xbox Series X, we were able to push this game to 60 FPS or 120 FPS and make the controls just feel so much more fluid and have you feel the action, because the power in the Xbox Series X makes a difference. And I did a video, like a post highlight video about the event. I had so many people tell me, wow, Cole, like why didn't you do the event? Because like you did it so much better. Because what I did is I took the Xbox Wired articles and fed in some of the information that the developer said after the fact on a web page, on a grimoire card out of Destiny. Like, that's not how gamers want to consume their information. They want to see it. They want the devs telling them while they see it. They want to feel like they're behind the controller, seeing it from the perspective of gameplay. And this is what Sony's going to do on Thursday with Ghost of Tsushima. Is they're going to give us 16 or 18, I think it's 18 minutes of Ghost of Tsushima gameplay. And they're going to do that because they watched Xbox fall over their own toenails last week.
So, and you know what there needs to be? There has to be a story. And I think the Inside Xbox lacked a story. Everything that they showed, and I'm not saying they just release it as 2-minute clips, but you know what I miss are the days of the old Bungie Vidocs, right? The 6 to 8 minute tidbits that we got that told us a story of a particular vertical slice and how they were creating it. It let us see gameplay. It was raw. It was unfiltered. We got to talk to those devs. We had a shepherd guide us through this story, and we got to see works in progress, but at least we felt fulfilled. We go to E3 to see our marketing trailers. They shouldn't have made it. If you were going to ask how I would fix it, don't let that be a big hype moment unless you're really bringing the thunder. But they weren't doing that. They couldn't do that. They know they couldn't do that.
I kind of wanted a
when you
Sony
had the
demo.
momentum
Do you
that they
think
did
you-
going
Let me
into
just
the
say
show-
something real quick. Let me just say something real
Well,
quick. I really
let
do
me
think
answer.
that-
When you had the momentum that they did going into that show, you would think first impressions would be everything, and you want to show
Yeah.
your best foot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the first thing to come to mind. Now, obviously, with Aaron Greenberg's recent comments and him saying that again, they're not prioritizing 60. Obviously,
Well, they
there's gonna
are.
be more
They are.
situations.
First party is, but yeah.
Oh, first party, yeah, but I'm saying like the third party, you're gonna see more of this. With aside from Assassin's Creed games that are more than likely not going to hit the 60 mark, and
Even
that's
though they
the
could.
another issue. So
It's
I don't
all
think-
but
I don't think
intentional
it's
at this
just-
point. Go, Zuck.
I'm gonna say I'll be honest. I don't think this is squarely only on Xbox's freaking shoulders. I don't think so. I really do believe that a lot of people came for the Assassin's Creed footage, and we talked about this. They had
Yeah,
like
that
a
was a good-
28% freaking like
Yep.
ratio compared to the 80% or even 90% on the other games. That's what I think is the big problem was the Assassin's Creed, and they waited
I
till the
agree.
end to show the
Mhm.
goddamn thing. Like, what game is getting destroyed right now? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The frame rate,
Right.
the showing, everything about it, and their gameplay trailer was the worst. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the games on that on the thing that they showed looked actually pretty freaking cool. The Ascent
Yeah,
looked
a lot
good,
of them
the
look
Strike
cool,
looked
yeah.
good,
I agree,
and a lot
I
of them
agree.
are, and a lot of them, a couple of them actually, like I think I don't know how many, like 5 or 6 of them are exclusive to Xbox, or at least console exclusive for now. And that's something, and a lot of them are going to Game Pass. So I actually think Xbox did kind of show
But
up,
it was
and
a
they showed a lot of stuff.
next-gen gameplay
And
debut.
But like I get it, and that's the one thing that I have to say, like Rukari, what you were talking about fixing. I think they like, I don't think anything in the show they could have fixed. I think it's the before the show, the getting it hyped
delivery,
up,
yeah.
saying the
The
delivery
messaging.
of being like, hey, this is the next gen. You're gonna be blown, like all this shit. Like, dude, chill. Just say you're gonna show some games, to make everybody think about gaming again. Make it positive. Make the message positive. That's what to me it should have been about,
PS5 in
like bringing
trouble?
people together again, but virtually, right? Some bullshit like that.
Right.
Like that's what they
Wasn't
should
pretty
have done.
much wasn't pretty much everything a AA game except for Valhalla.
Hey, Madden. I know you guys
And
get mad about that, but Madden was out there.
Madden was out there.
Yeah.
Hey, I
I mean,
gotta
how
go
many
shout out
people
to
played
the Ashton
Madden?
Looper real quick. She
What?
says, just dropping by to show some
Yeah.
support. Hashtag 60 frames or bust.
They
that's-
just put too much emphasis on that whole gameplay
yeah,
reveal for the
so.
first look of the Series
For
X,
sure.
and that's what they did wrong.
Tim,
The messaging was all bad.
Tim, what were you saying about?
No, I think to be honest, Rukari brings up a lot of things that sometimes worry me about Xbox. It's like you could for certain things that I heard, even them going into the show, they knew they overhyped and they knew that they were going to be in trouble here. First of all, how do you get yourself in that position? Second of all, why is it that they always seem to have this problem? And is there ever a guy in the room, Rukari, that says, "Hey, we suck"? Like it seems like they all are just patting each other on the backs and giving each other encouragement. But the reality is that they're not being, they're being truthful about the situation. It seems that from what I gather, that if you do say, "Hey, this is shitty, we suck," you kind of looked as that you're not being a team player. And to me, that's not a good thing. I think that they have an opportunity here. This is a blown opportunity. That they have to hit June. June's not really a big deal. They have to have a lasting impression in July, or they really blown a huge opportunity here because they've really done a great job up to this point of getting themselves in this position. So it'd be like going into the 9th inning with a 3-run lead and giving up a grand slam to lose the game. So I just hope that I don't know, maybe they could take this in and actually, if they're listening, and stop patting yourself on the back and do a kick-ass job, or at least get your shit together, or
Believe it
don't
or not,
do
they
it.
don't pat themselves on the back. I'll tell you that. Like I said, we would deconstruct every IX, and this is kind of the horror of working behind the scenes or working at a corporation like this, is you realize that there are a lot of battles that you're just not going to win, even if it's your baby and your project. You could say to somebody, "This idea sucks," but then they come out with some reason that's like 8 levels above your pay grade of, "We know, but we have to do this to cover our ass because XYZ." And that's what this felt like. This was not I don't even think this was really produced by the regular IX team. If you think about it, you didn't see anybody that was on multiple IXs until after the show when they were doing interviews. This felt like, and I use the term hijacked, but it does feel like it was. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it was.
It's hijacked.
It was repurposed by a PR marketing team. Like, hey, we're not going to have XYZ big beats or big beats that may have already happened. We need this. We need your delivery system, and I don't think those two meshed. Right. We had new faces, and I do think, given the lack of information that we had, that obviously was overhyped. But I guarantee you, they will hear. And sometimes people like it because they get to say, hey, we told you this sucked, and everybody said it sucked. Look at the numbers. Like, look at the numbers of the people that said it sucked. Okay, now it's our turn.
Microsoft are very analytical, right? Like, they do pay attention to those likes and those dislikes. And Rush,
I guarantee you, Phil will say, I'm sick of my mentions getting blown up. Not sick of, but like, he will say, he reads them. I know he reads them.
Yeah, and I know he's a very analytical guy. I got to shout out to Rush Pell real quick. He does say he's tired of people hating on Xbox. Hopefully the July show will shut people down. I don't think that people hate on Xbox for no reason. I mean, again, we don't want to be doing this right now. This is the opposite, right? Yeah. This is the opposite of what we want to be doing. But if we didn't do it, we wouldn't be very consistent. We would be, flip-flopping all over the place. We've always been this way when it comes to every event. Last E3, we all had strokes live on air. Like, there's no excuse for this. We've given our reasons. We know we don't speak for everybody. We don't pretend to or say we do. We just, engage the discussion, get our opinions out there. Not everybody here agrees on every single thing, believe it or not. But, I mean, again, guys, everyone's got their own opinion. Let us know yours in the chat. Thanks to everybody tuning in live. We do got 2,000 people watching live. Guys, hit that like button, show this out. If you haven't, we do appreciate it. Zalker, yes, go ahead, buddy. You've been going on all cylinders today.
I mean, I have to. I'm sorry. I got to be honest with you, Rukari. I don't remember the last Inside Xbox somebody has said it was fucking awesome. I have to be completely honest. I think a lot of people do spin shit negatively. I think the games that were shown were pretty cool. I think this was one of the best Inside Xboxes I've seen because it just showed, like, obviously game.
There's actually games there that wasn't announced.
The only thing is the gameplay. That's what messed me up. And then the Assassin's Creed fucking debacle. But for me, the last best showing that they had was XO, the last one. I thought that was really good. And I thought the Game Awards, where they came out and fucking showed the console and showed the Game Awards was great. But this Inside Xbox, I feel like it's getting a really bad rap for something that I'm kind of like you brought up sitting at a couch. People fucking wrecked Xbox for sitting at a couch at Gamescom. And they wrecked them talking about that.
That's because they sit there and hyped up Disneyland Adventures, fucking Zoo Type.
Exactly. So it's the messaging before.
There's reasons.
The messaging before.
And let me just say, it was my job to say that they were all shit. Like, we talked about who's the person in the room to say this sucks. That was literally my job, was to deconstruct it. So I do think it was a great show, but understand that I have been trained to always look at what could be done way better. So when I sit here and tear this down, it's not because I don't love it.
It's because you want to do better.
I don't think any of our Inside Xbox shows have been good. And that's literally me saying that because I always think there could just be something better. That's really it. So let me not say that it's bad. That's why I didn't voice anything publicly on my own personal channels, because I knew it was going to come off as asshole-ish. But in reality, we all sat behind the scenes and did this every single time.
I just want to ask you real quick, Rukari, because you talk about behind the scenes. I just want to know, what type of disconnect is there that they don't know the difference between gameplay and gameplay and like gameplay trailers or scripted stuff?
This is where we'll say that people are wrong.
Why would somebody also let the stream go out at 30 frames per second when you're showing 60 frames per second games? I don't understand that.
Most of it will be stuff that we may never know, like the 30 frames versus 60, like given what the production crews are capable of doing, the amount of people that are watching XYZ, is it worth it for us to stream this at this if we can just post it up later at this? There's a lot of thought that goes into that one. I don't know why they did that. Now, as far as what was the first point? Remind me.
About the disconnect with gameplay and not showing gameplay.
I think that's just more so our job as a consumer to understand how precise marketing is. And I hate to say it that way, but
it's technically gameplay, right? For the most part.
Yeah. And this is maybe this is me being a black dude growing up in a world like this, where I'm like, somebody said you got to be very clear in your work. Like, I just hear lawyer talk all the time.
That's fucked up.
No, it is fucked up. But that's how I see the world. Is somewhere they will say we showed gameplay.
I mean,
did we show a lot?
You just see it as it is accurate. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Like, you're right. It is technically gameplay, whether or not it's chopped up in a trailer that's all over the place, like the Dirt 5, right? That was clearly gameplay, but it was more like a launch trailer or something. Like, when I say gameplay, I'm talking Last of Us 2 demo, right? I want to see behind the character perspective. And to be clear, Microsoft, and we do have people that watch the show, that's what people mean by gameplay. What will I see? HUD or not?
They see too big, and that's the other part that I laugh about the PR and marketing machine is sometimes I don't think they understand how a little can go a long way. And I think if there were, you talked about breaking down the games with dev interviews. I think in this case, if there were only 3, 4, 5 games shown, but they had a deeper dive that featured more gameplay and more talking, like people explaining what was going on, I think the reception would have been way better.
I gotta give a shout out to Y9 Power. He says 30 FPS is not a deal breaker for me. No one said it's a deal breaker. I mean, I saw you in a different chat saying some other shit we didn't say. Nobody said the games shown at the event on Thursday were bad games because they were 30 FPS. No one said that at all. Like, you gotta at least take accurately what we're saying here.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I will say this, Y9 Power.
The importance of first party, and this is why I preached this numerous times. That's what they need to deliver with. It's the first
party. 30
Sound like you're drinking some warm milk.
30 FPS is definitely a deal breaker for me when it comes to these games going forward. If these games are going to come out in 30 frames per second, I'm not buying them.
I mean, it's not cool, but nobody. I said that to correct Y9, who basically saying we're saying X, Y, or Z, right?
A lot of people took my comments as saying I'm not going to buy the Series X or the PS5. I didn't say that. I said I'm not buying Valhalla if it's only 30 frames per second.
I'll wait for the 60 FPS patch. I know it's coming. So, and again, none of that's even been confirmed. So we have to double down on that again. There are headlines saying that, but when it comes down to it, they are saying at least 30. Rukari mentioned the frame rates and why they might tie certain animations to a certain frame rate. I had been talking about the fact that they might have tied physics to the frame rate over the last day in a party. And honestly, on the PC version that you're seeing right now, if you're watching it at 60 FPS, the PC version of Assassin's Creed don't have this issue at all. You can run them at some pretty decent frame rates, and the CPU and the GPU and all the stuff in the new systems, both of them, PS5 and Series X, are both more than capable of running this. And again, on Twitter, I swear to God, I wanted to just throw ninja stars at people, because just because we're not saying something doesn't mean we are saying something. So when I say it's capable in Series X and PS5, they're like, no, look at these benchmarks at 4K, the 2080. No one said 4K, right? No one said it has to be at 4K.
No one said ultra
4K. And that's the problem. Gamers want it at 4K, 60 frames per second. And listen,
I mean, these people think we're saying it needs to be 4K 60. It's like, no one said that.
You can hit 4K 60. You can hit 4K 60 on a lot of games next gen, but not on these big open world games.
Just checkerboard it, reduce the resolution, whatever you got to do, but there's no CPU bottleneck. The frames should just fly up with a simple, like Resident Evil 3. Remember when people were saying, you're not a developer, how do you know? Well, because I have a vast experience with this kind of stuff, and we knew that Resident Evil 3 was being bottlenecked by the GPU, and if they just reduce the resolution, then the frame rates will go up to 60 FPS. A week later, that's exactly what they did. No real work needed at all, just a simple resolution reduction, and boom, 60 FPS, almost solid through that whole game now. So it's the same kind of situation with Valhalla. There's no real work needed unless they've tied something to that frame rate, which the PC version doesn't even do. So I just I find it interesting. If it doesn't happen, I'm just blown away as to why. I need to know why.
Here's the one last thing I want to say on that. If gamers out there really don't want 30 frames per second going into next gen, then please speak with your wallet. That's what I'm going to do. You can hold me to it. You can check my games out when I'm playing and everything. It's all open. I will not be playing games at 30 frames per second on those next-gen consoles. I refuse to, because these developers, that's the only way to send them this message, really.
You shouldn't have language they know, money, man.
So you're not, I mean, I get what you're saying. You're not spending $500 on Zen 2, 16 threads of Zen 2, and essentially a 2080 Super, and still getting 30 FPS. This is not why you're trying to spend $500 more.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any more sense for a developer to hold that back. And thankfully, most of them are not doing that we know of so far. Most of them have not, a lot of them have not confirmed frame rates, but developers have to understand that much like with the X and the Pro today, give us the options, but they'll actually be able to crush those frame rates, no problem. Just give us the option, right? You can make 30 FPS the default. Give me the option, right? That's all we're
I
saying.
mean, come on. You know why we're buying into these systems? We want that upgrade. We don't, not just from the graphical standpoint, just really the performance. We need 60 in general.
Yeah, we're harping on this. We're harping on this a lot.
Right now, we're already seeing like pretty high quality graphics. Like, as far as visual resolution, as far as clarity, resolution, and just the overall presentation on like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, like that's pretty dang good. And if we're gonna buy another $500 or $400 console, we want what the other consoles couldn't do with that bottleneck. We want that 30 to go up to 60. And if we saw a little bit better graphics now at 1440p 60 on almost every game, like it would be so much what we've been looking for.
It's a better experience.
And didn't Phil just say, who was it that said, was it Phil Spencer that said that the 60 FPS is what makes it feel like next gen, and the
feel
time
of games would be the biggest one.
And that's what I'm trying to stress too to people is that is a real next gen leap, not ray tracing to me. I'm sorry, but the visuals are not the next gen leap. It's the performance for these consoles. We have it as console gamers. This whole generation, we've been held back by these dog shit CPUs, those Jaguar cores, and now we're not held back by that no more. So as a consumer and as a gamer, I want to see better from these developers. Give us those performance options at the very least.
Now, I mentioned this on against Stuffcast. I think we were talking about the Valhalla thing for a brief moment. I mentioned that I talked to a few executives behind the scenes, and Aaron did tell me directly that he doesn't know exactly what's going on there, but they could be saving it for something they just haven't revealed yet. I mean, no one's really confirming anything one way or the other.
Is the stream up right now? Somebody just said
just refresh your stuff, everybody. Mine's working just fine. I refreshed. Everything's working fine. You need to refresh your browser or refresh your whatever you're listening on.
Sorry, YouTube. Gotham guy says, great show, dealer. You guys always bring your A game. Rukari, Rakizzle, he misses having you on Inside Xbox. You brought the energy, the passion, and basically a natural feeling to the show.
Juice.
A natural charisma.
Appreciate it.
He misses you. He misses you. When are you gonna? You should go back. And we should do what it takes to get you there. Honestly, it was definitely a better show with you on it. But when it comes down to it, guys, Assassin's Creed is what it is. Like, I have to question the real reason for this happening. It's not a hardware reason. Just know that. I'm tired of people that don't know anything about what a teraflop even is. And the fact that it really doesn't even have anything to do with it. It's all about balance and that CPU allowing this to happen because there is enough GPU power. Talking about how 12 T-flops that or this. Developer's choice and just like art direction will really ultimately decide how a game looks. And I wonder if it has something to do with smart delivery or not. I don't know. Tim, do you know anything about that?
No, I have no idea. Like I said, this is something that I just think we have to wait and really kind of, I mean, obviously everyone's alarmed at this, and I think that everyone, put out their best foot forward with this, and I totally agree. Especially when you have something like the Xbox One X, you have to have a way to differentiate these consoles and make it a reason to buy. So.
Let's talk about load times, Tim, but it's like there's no real load times in Odyssey now. There's one big one at the beginning, pretty much. I mean,
right. But is that really a reason to spend $500?
No.
So I think that I would just say, just with bated breath, that I think that they probably are going to try to get 60. I just think that they just didn't want to, as Rukari said, they don't want to commit to anything that they know that if they don't, then they'll get killed. So I think it's part of the developmental cycle. I think the best bet for them is to say, hey, we're gunning to do it. We just might not hit it at launch. I think people would be happy with that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's well said. But again, it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen. Again, nothing concrete right now. But
do y'all really think they gimped it just for the current gen, though? In honesty,
no, it defeats the purpose, right? They didn't gimp the X or the Pro versions. They still got all that GPU overhead out. There was no real extra boost to CPU that much. So, I mean,
true, but they're going to be relying heavily, even PS5 heavily. They're going to be reliant on cross-gen games.
I mean,
So
they rely
maybe,
on the base models now. I mean, the Pro and the X
Yeah.
are 2 to 5% of probably the overall volume. They still
Yeah.
ink that
True.
performance out, right? So, I mean, think of your GTX 1070. That's a very, very small install base, and they still make sure that card can get some performance out, right?
Yeah, it's not like at the start of this gen where like they couldn't really test the waters. They couldn't go all out with the system.
Yeah.
So,
So, I mean,
all resources are available.
it's very, very interesting. It's not too much of a reason to do
Yeah.
certain things. So, I mean, it could, who knows, man? I mean, there's a lot of variables there. I guess we'll ultimately have to see. We have a lot of other good topics. Again, shout out to everybody watching this. Sorry, the stream kicked some of you guys out. Welcome back. Hit that like button, share this out for us, helps out a little bit if you haven't. We do appreciate it. But again, Valhalla is what it is. We'll update you guys when things change, but I don't want to harp on this until it's confirmed, and we'll know more in the coming months. Sony State of Play real quick. Ghost of Tsushima, they are going to show a lot of this bit cloud. I'm excited for this game.
Sure.
This game looks really good. I wish I could play it on my fucking Xbox. What are they going to show?
Well, you're gonna get it day 1 on Thursday, so that's all you're gonna get it.
What are they going to show on Thursday?
Gameplay of this. Some people are saying the announcement maybe for the event for PS5. I doubt that's going to be announced there. I just think gameplay there. Maybe maybe an update on Last of Us 2. Because
So have you heard about that rumor for the rumored kind of revealed event for the PS5? It's like when was that date? It was like
June 4th.
Yeah, something
Or
like that.
6th, something like that. It was like June 4th or 6th. But then there was another report that came in that June 6th was for Guerrilla Games. Because remember, they're doing like their own little thing with the developers. So that's another thing that's happening.
That's not from Reset Era, is it? Because we all know how that turned out last time.
No, that was Reset. That was actually posted strictly from so but as far as that event's concerned, I'm not sure what to really expect, because they just been very, very like they've been keeping their cards to their chest. You don't even know what the hell to really, you can't really, it's hard to
they haven't shown you guys any new games in years, Ryan.
You talking about we got Last of Us 2?
I mean, they showed that years ago though. Like, what have they shown? I know they got stuff in the canon. That's the thing, though, right? We know they got stuff.
You got all the gameplay you need. Go look up the GIF for what's that game called? Godfall. There you go. You got 5 seconds.
Godfall.
I
don't want to play Godfall. That's for sure. I mean, I'm just saying though. They really, on a serious note, they really haven't shown games in years, like new games. And what do you expect to see soon? Because they haven't shown games in years, it does make it a little bit more exciting because it's kind of like Xbox. Sony are going to deliver some games because they kind of have over the last couple of years, aside from maybe Death Stranding and some people don't like Days Gone. I did, but then on Xbox's side, they haven't really shown much. So they are going to show some things. What do you think they're going to show on the Sony side here soon? Horizon 2 or what?
Yeah, so from their events perspective, I was like, be realistic about it. Now, Microsoft, obviously, they already like pieced theirs out perfectly. So you got the console first, then they got the tear down with the specifications, and then you got a few of the actual, a few games now, right? With the show we just saw. So for Sony's, it would have to be console reveal, and you would have to at least see a few, at least a little bit of what the first party has to offer. With
sure.
Do you think the PS5 is going to have a built-in space heater?
Space heater. No, real talk. If I had to gamble on anything, and this is just my personal opinion, I would say Horizon 2 is something to really look forward to on this. Granted, will it be day 1? That is the question everybody wants to know. I don't think it'll be day 1 on the system. That's something that's going to have to come a little later. Just like they're talking about Spider-Man 2. That supposedly is going to come 2021. So that's not going to be day 1 there.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, that's in the hell yeah, you already know. But they're also talking about Silent Hills partners, like they partner with Konami or something like that to buy Silent Hills, and that Kojima is working on one of them with Kojima Productions, and that they're working.
Is that a good thing after Delivery Simulator? What do you think about that?
Delivery Simulator.
Yeah,
I mean, he predicted the future. I don't know if you saw that dude. He was walking around with the package on his back, so he might have. He was on to something. He was on to something. whatnot.
And,
Silent Hill might happen, and then of course there was Metal Gear Solid that was also being mentioned. Now I dropped the video today because there was another report that came out that Castlevania could very well be coming out for PS5, and that right there will be influenced by Bloodborne. So it'll be like a Bloodborne style Castlevania.
That's nice.
Hawaiian guy
that
says,
right there had my
Hawaiian guy
attention
says,
as well.
Knack 3 day one. Also, Snake Eye says Xbox has been on point. We expect the best. I mean, yeah, they've been doing good lately. I'd say since December, especially. They should never. You shouldn't settle for less. Honestly, you should not settle for less. You got the hardware. Now we're getting the software. Finally, they got the pro consumer services in place. They got xCloud coming in for the options. I mean, really,
you know
keep pushing.
everything
You know,
you need to know except for one vital component. That's just the price. So you know pretty much everything you need to know.
$500. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people saying $400. I don't think 400. I think 500. And Lockhart's probably going to aim for $300. That's going to be their whole stick. That's if they do launch Lockhart.
Regarding
this thing exists though.
Yeah, it does exist.
Regarding the Sony show, God help us if they show their games at 60 frames per second.
So that's
Oh
another
my
thing
God.
too. Like again, the Decima engine, because you remember, Fonz, it was tweaked by Kojima.
He said, "This
So-
is trash. Let me fix it." No, it's a great engine, man. It looks good. It looks
They're
good.
getting more out of it, and they're excited for what they have to show for their.
That's the thing. You can't take away from what Death Stranding looked like.
Because there was nothing in the damn world. It better look that damn good.
Yeah. But the game itself, trash.
There was.
Hey, Colt.
I gotta say for the
Go,
show,
Joe.
like I don't know what Sony's gonna show, obviously, but I don't think they're gonna be showing Horizon. I mean, do I hope they do? Of course, but if you guys saw what Phil Spencer said, he said that he doesn't think games releasing this year are going to be affected that much with the world that we're going through and everything. But he said that 2021 games and beyond will be affected because all mocap, all that stuff has stopped. So a lot of games are, and Sony heavily goes into mocap, and a lot of their games are very story driven. So I think Sony is in a peculiar situation where they can't really show a lot of the stuff going on because nobody's working on that stuff now. I think they can show a title screen, right, Ryan, or a bit. I think they can.
Yeah, like you can get a title screen. Yeah, like kind of like you remember. All right, so you remember what they did with the Order 1886 before we ever got gameplay. You saw like the little loading screen, you saw, like the water effect of the.
Yeah, they almost got me with that game. Bro. I ain't gonna lie.
They might do something like that with the Horizon, but again, you know what I'm saying. They're probably going to announce it. You know what I'm saying, like saying that it exists, that is coming, and that's probably what they'll probably do. Again, gameplay. Again, it's a stretch, but
you just got to go back to 2016 and look what they did, and to success. They showed all the games. They didn't even show a lot of the gameplay. They showed Joel on a guitar or whatever, and everyone went nuts. So,
wasn't that the year they showed
really
God of War for like
4 years ago?
They showed God of War for like 8 minutes.
They showed God of War gameplay. After that, we didn't see full gameplay of Spider-Man, but we saw like a small snippet when he was doing the parkour in the building and he jumped out the window, and they showed other things. So yeah, that was about it for that show.
They could do that though. That they could listen. They showed 2 games. They're fine. They show Horizon 2 and God of War 2. Everyone goes crazy. Even if they just show a teaser.
Well, Chris said that last show, right? Like he's like they show 2 things and bang, like that's all it's gonna take.
But that's just a testament to Sony's games, though, and how much people love them.
And this is what I want for Microsoft. I want that bar to be set with Microsoft. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with Maximilian, dude. Are y'all familiar with him, the YouTuber?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He put out a tweet. And Jay Bar, shout out to Jay Bar. He actually retweeted. Jay Bar. He's a PlayStation guy. Homie right there.
Okay.
But he retweeted this, and I agree with him too. He actually basically said that there's unnecessary pressure, and unnecessary pressure. I do agree on Halo. It shouldn't really come down to Halo.
There's a lot of necessary pressure in Halo. A lot of people feel like 343 have yet to deliver on Halo.
No, I'm saying like unnecessary. What I'm saying like unnecessary on their end, like that they put Halo in this predicament where it has to be like a make or break type of thing.
No, I mean it'll be fine no matter what, but it needs to show up big.
No, they did put them in that situation because if you were to play through Halo 5, they put themselves in that position. The campaign was terrible.
#KillLock. Hey, Colt, I want you to take on something. You chewing on your toenails? What are you doing?
Yeah, I've just finished.
Okay. Well, hey, Pactor, old crazy Pactor, talking about how the Xbox Series X could undercut the PS5 based off of some potential pricings. I mean, what is it? PS5 now rumored to...
The sensational Michael
The
Pachter.
sensational Michael Pachter.
Yeah,
Why
so
is this guy even
So
talked
so
about
Colt, I
anymore?
mean, what is your thoughts on the pricing? He's saying that it could undercut and come in at $400 for a Series X, when in reality we're lucky to get that kind of performance at $500, anywhere near it really.
he's doing the same thing he did with the Xbox Scorpio. He's
He's
not really predicting. He's more like he's saying,
said,
if
"Fuck
I was
it."
in charge, this is what I would do. I would put it
Yeah.
at $400 and beat Sony at their own game. And that didn't happen.
But
with the
does, I mean,
Scorpio.
as an
It's not gonna
analyst
happen
though,
with the
does he
Series
not
X.
think about the reasons they don't have an incentive to do that? You can play their games on any Xbox, you can play their games on PC, any cell phone here soon. Like there's
Well,
less of a
Michael
reason to take a
Pachter's-
loss than ever.
Pachter's not really thinking about that. He's just he's got a mic and he's making some predictions. He also said the PS5 would be out in 2018.
I heard 2019
so-
from a video.
Well, 2019 was part of the plan for a little while, but Michael Pachter was saying 2018, which was asinine. But
And he also said like $800 at one point or something, right?
yeah, he also said the PS5 would be $800. But
Shout out to Michael Pachter.
No, you remember what he
and
said?
I like Pachter. I
Microsoft
like
was
Pachter a lot. I've listened to him for many years, and
Makes one of us.
I mean, I like that he takes like this look at how things could be, but he's just basically just throwing, coins into wishing well, and just not something that's going to happen. And what you just said, dealer, like they don't need to sell the console for a certain price because they want to bring all these people into the ecosystem, and they don't need to sell the consoles. Like,
I mean, I want it as cheap as possible, but incentive
yeah, I
wise,
mean,
like
go ahead and sell it at $400 if
Yeah.
you don't care. If you just want to bring as many people as possible, but that's a huge loss on R&D and materials. So Microsoft's going to sell it at cost or whatever, or take a smaller loss. And the other thing he said was that he predicts, and I still don't think he means predict. I think he means this is what they should do. He gets those mixed up because people wouldn't come to him for what
I think that's
what
his
do you think they
prediction
should
though.
do?
Like I think you're giving him too much
I
credit.
know, but he doesn't. He wants people to still come to him, the media to come to him and ask him questions. So he's not going to say, "Here's my wish list." He says, "Here's my prediction," and
That's
his
even
prediction
worse.
is that right.
I-
And he says his prediction is that Microsoft is going to wait until the fall at the launch to say what the price is for the
Oh,
Xbox Series X,
God.
so that Sony has to make
He made
a
D throw his hot
decision.
pocket across the room.
Dude,
Colt.
this,
Yeah.
Michael Pachter is the equivalent of Alex Jones for the gaming, journalism.
Oh,
it's
God,
it's
come
just
on.
it's weird to me.
It's like the
It-
Colt Eastwood of analyzing. Yeah.
You got your
I
hands
mean,
in too many cookie
based
jars,
on-
Colt.
Based
I
on
like
what
cookies.
he's gotten right and wrong in the past, I mean, the percentage there is not very good. I mean, he's got a lot
Yeah,
wrong.
he was
a
interviewing
lot.
Jeff
He's
Keighley
the
was
biggest L of
he-
all time. You remember he said they were going to partner with cable companies to sell you the Xbox for $100?
No, he did. Jeez.
Said
Yeah,
they
he
had
said
those on-
It was on the
Well,
package.
Jeff Keighley was interviewing him and was kind of calling him out immediately, trying to stop him in his tracks from saying something like, "They're not going to wait." He's like, "They need people to pre-order this thing in the summer. They're not going to wait until the moment before to buy it to say, here's what the price is." Other
Exactly.
products can do that.
Do you
I don't
remember
think
what they did for the 360?
No.
August,
It
mid
melted
to late August.
the price point.
Yep.
Do you think that Microsoft could say, "Hey, we normally would say this thing, we'd say the price in June and open pre-orders, but
I mean,
we got to fight against Sony"? What would they do, Rukari?
I mean,
What
they,
do you
I
think
don't
they
know.
could do?
I don't think Pachter is wrong. I get that his shit's outlandish. Again, I look at the words and he says they're in a position to undercut. And I don't think that's wrong too. What I don't know are Xbox's goals. And again, we talked about who we are as a percentage and what the masses are. If Xbox's goals are to get as many people into the ecosystem as possible because they've got something like Game Pass Ultimate that's out there, and really their thing is maybe we take a loss on hardware, we get these subscriptions up, it could be plausible. Like I'm gonna take the Mythbusters route and just say maybe. I don't know what they're gonna do. Do they wait for Sony because they think they're in a better position? I don't know. Like I can see a world where it's $400, but that's because I worked in a world with cell phones where I knew they subsidized the cost of a cell phone, and this is how long ago this was. They give you a razor for free, knowing that shit costs like $500, but they got you back on the service. So if Microsoft feels confident in their attach rates and how many services are attaching to each console, maybe. That's just me just knowing that I don't know shit.
And I think people
with
need
this whole
to.
price initiative thing. Like you guys remember Too Fast, Too Furious, like that little game of chicken they were playing.
why
They
you gotta
almost
bring
ran
that
into-
trash movie up?
That's that's basically what you're doing. It's like an extreme
100%.
game of chicken of who's gonna go.
Docker, what are you gonna say?
I think it's a little different. Like I agree with Rukari. I think that it is like a stare down, like what Big Cloud's saying also. But also, I think that this is different than the Xbox One X. I don't think they were going to ever take a loss on the Xbox One X because the generation was over. They were just basically giving goodwill to the hardcore gamer to me. Like that's what I think. I think this whole new generation or lack of generation, whatever it is, I think this is where they're starting to implement their plan, right? Like it's about execution, it's about being transparent, all that stuff. I think they are waiting for Sony to announce the price. And the only way I could see them why they would freaking wait is because they either want to undercut them or match them.
Guys,
that's the only,
guys,
that's
let me just get the ruler out and smack the shit out of your hands. Lockhart is their insurance policy. None of that shit matters. They don't have an incentive to take a big loss on something like Series X. You need a $200 gap between those two systems. It is real. I don't know why motherfuckers out there doubting after the track record on the
it's
show.
not real. Neither is Fable.
It's definitely real. So Lockhart, it's going to get revealed. It's going to come in at a cheaper price. On top of that, all of the ways you can play their games is even more an incentive for them not to take a loss on something like Series X. You're already lucky to get it for $5. Let's not have the people in the podcast again this time around with $3.99 as their fucking picture again. We don't need that. That already happened once, right? So you're gonna have a Series X at $5. You're gonna have a Lockhart at around $3, and you're gonna be happy.
What does the X go to?
The X goes out of the fucking way, not made anymore. That's what happens.
What does all digital go to?
That probably gets replaced pretty quick as well.
They're pretty much done. Yeah, Xbox One X is done. Like the last console you see with that.
That's why they're selling them at $300 because Lockhart replaces the X. It's more capable all around the board.
Yeah. When did they stop production on the Xbox 360? And I ask that in all seriousness because I don't know.
I do know with the original Xbox One, when they came out with the S, they started selling those at a lower price to try to phase them out and get rid of the stock. And I'm sure they planned for that ahead of time as well. So there is stock a little bit before launch. And then that S came in and replaced it. And I think it's the same thing again.
I'm saying when did they stop selling the Xbox 360 S or whatever it was? When did they stop production on those units?
Shortly after the launch of the new ones.
I don't think that's a good metric because Don Metric really was like, well, you have if you don't want internet or anything. You have
go down the submarine with me and we'll play Battletoads.
That was Adam Worth.
So, when the Lockhart will be unveiled at this point because they have not talked about it.
That's the thing, though. Like they haven't talked about it, but they will at some point. And if they don't now, then according to what we know, it should have already been talked about. But the whole virus thing knocked all this crap out of whack. And I was kind of going to talk about the June event because some have speculated they might unveil it there.
Isn't that hardware, devices, and services?
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, again...
Won't they stop production of the Xbox One consoles once they tune up the lines for the Series consoles? That's what I would assume.
And that's why I brought up the original Xbox One and the S, because they sold it, kind of got it out of the way, got it out, phased it out, replaced it, right?
I mean, the Xbox One consoles sell so weekly, I don't know what the word would be, that they could have stopped production yesterday and their stock would eventually sell out.
I mean, it sells so weekly. I mean,
the Xbox All Digital is the only one that sells really well and a lot of the S's, but I mean, they don't sell tens of millions for the year, so they could stop production in January.
I mean, no console's selling anything right now.
The Lockhart will be discless.
Yeah, and that might be the case, but at the end of the day, the all digital is discless, and what matters is that price point. And if you can get that kind of performance for $300 with a Zen 2 CPU and all that, and even an SSD, that's pretty insane for $300.
That's definitely a steal. Yeah,
that's crazy. And it's going to come with 200 games and a trial of Game Pass for a month. Like, you are fucking set. And if anything, if they take a loss on anything, it'd be the lower end model. They make the money or at least break even on the higher end stuff. That's kind of how the business model works, at least according to what I know. Then you've got xCloud, which again, on every mobile phone, every smartphone, we've been talking about this forever. You can quadruple your install base in a few months if everything goes great a year. You got an app, make a deal with TV manufacturers, get an xCloud app on your OLED or whatever TV you're on.
10 million.
All of this stuff, man.
On that Xbox All Access service.
All Access is still there as well. They'll definitely factor that in. But the June event, Rukari, you say is hardware and services, stuff like that. I mean,
I believe so, right?
It could very much be.
It is.
Could very much be, Tim Dog. I mean, you think the odds are that we'll see Lockhart somewhere around there, and then once they get that out of the way, then they can go into more detail on their first party stuff and how that might leverage both, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's themed hardware. Even in their PR, they said it's hardware and services, I believe. But yeah, it's going to be Lockhart. I think it's the worst kept secret. You're already hearing people.
I mean, we
that
know
have-
people that have
Yeah,
pretty much seen the
take
box,
home.
honestly. So you can believe us or
Right.
not, but there's a reason we're so adamant about it.
There's also people I've heard also that have take home. So listen, the bottom line is that it's a real thing. I think that it's going to definitely be announced. If it isn't announced in June, though,
That's
I would
kind of getting weird at that point.
Yeah, at that point, but I
That's a
think
little
that,
freaky.
you know,
A
and
little Roku box.
right. Originally, this was supposed to be announced in April before COVID. So this is just the restructuring and handling of everything post COVID. But yeah, I think it's pretty good bet that you're going to get Lockhart. And as far as the pricing and something, I think everyone's totally on target. It is definitely a cat and mouse game right now. If Microsoft is either, like you said, I think Dealer said, they're going to either match it or they're going to undercut, most likely match it. Supposedly, per the Bloomberg report, the second one, that their bill of materials has went shot up.
You're talking about PS5 right now, right?
Yeah, the PS5. So
what
yeah,
did the PS5? Bloomberg saying PS5 costs went up to what?
500.
It's a 500. 500. Yeah, they
If that box
speculate a
comes in
price-
at 500, holy shit! Like that, that's the worst thing that can happen to Sony right now with the Series
I
X.
just saw
Yeah.
650. Jeez.
Yeah, well, they say it went up because of the SSD and a flash RAM, I think, or something like that. But yeah, I think that they're eventually. I think what's going to happen is that they're just going to wait each other out. But I do think that they're going to be both the same price. What
Hey,
that price
real
is,
quick
I don't
too,
know.
we gotta give a shout out to over 2,000
No,
people watching this live. Real
serious.
quick, let me do that real quick. Shout out to everybody checking us out live, over 2,000. Hit that like button, share it out if you haven't. Do appreciate it, guys. You guys power the show, make it what it is. We do appreciate it a lot. Also, Rukari, Austin from Inside Xbox showing up randomly. We do appreciate you jumping in too, buddy. There's a lot of topics and a lot of shit going on in the show, especially we vented on the 30 FPS shit. We really don't like to be negative a lot on the show because it's not why I do gaming, right? It's kind of an escape. So we'll try to cut that out as time goes until something's confirmed. But yeah, the Valhalla stuff, we definitely need to see that at the frame rate that it should be at. PS5, the price point, basically, Tim, what you're saying is they could very well come in at $500 like Series X. And that's not going to be good for PS5 given that performance delta. We know that. At all. Destiny 2, by the way, getting enhanced for the next-gen consoles. That was confirmed as well. So any weirdos out there that are still addicted to Destiny 2, you should be quite happy about that. We've also got...
He means gamers.
We covered the PS5 reveal rumor there. BitCloud says early June could be a possibility. This did not come from Reset Era. And the Xbox June 2020 event. Expectations when it comes to hardware and services, that's what the event's going to be about. We expect Lockhart to be there. It should absolutely be there. It absolutely is real. I don't know why people think it's a handheld. It's not a fucking handheld. So E3 2022 for what we'll say kind of for third parties. Cold Eastwood, what do you expect to see this summer? Ubisoft had kind of confirmed at an event as I've been saying they were definitely going to do. We knew they were going to do. EA have kind of got their own thing. They might show one or two things. I mean, what are your expectations from third party for E3 2020, quote unquote?
No Elder Scrolls, no Elder Scrolls 6. I don't know. As far as you threw like 100 different things at me, but
E3
Starfield
third party.
from
What do you
Bethesda,
expect?
Yeah, E3, Bethesda, Starfield game, Cyberpunk, Batman, E3 Batman,
Gollum.
Gollum. Oh my gosh,
I still haven't seen those
games.
screenshots. You guys say it looks like trash. I don't know.
No. It looks
environment
it looks different. It looks very stylized.
I have most of the cool player models on that grid.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of looks different, and Gollum's a little more pink color, or fleshy colored. I don't know. There's so many games that I just want to see Batman, and I want to see Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2.
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
I want campy, dumb zombie bashing with my friends online. I don't have anybody who wants to play the game, but
That, and you
I'll
made
play
that
by
damn
myself.
video about it.
Well, I mean, it's coming. Whatever.
Yeah, I know it's coming.
I'll throw in Far Cry 6. I think there people are talking about a Far Cry that Ubisoft at their showing is going to show Far Cry 6. That's
Let us know what you think in the chat as we go.
Yeah, let us know. And then
What else,
so
Stalker?
Far Cry 6, what you call it, Watch Dogs Legion is going to be shown this summer. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, obviously, actual
30 frames.
gameplay, hopefully at 28 frames. The Batman games, apparently Warner Brothers Montreal and Warner Brothers in general is working on multiple DC titles.
How about they work on a fucking multiple announcements already? Shit.
I think it's coming.
Well, yeah, it's coming. It's supposed to be out already. I mean, they didn't teach this shit a year ago for no reason.
The next
I
5
hear
years.
what Rukari's excited about for
Rukari, third party this summer. What are you expecting?
I think I explained this last time I was on the show, and I think everybody's going to hate this position.
Uh-oh.
I don't pay attention anymore
God
because I just
damn it.
know I'm getting it. Like that sounds
All right.
There's so much going on, and
Okay,
you know
well,
I live in a world now.
Fan. Madden got you
Even
hyped?
freelance. No. Like I just know I will play them. I know Madden will be the game that I pick up because me and my buddies want to talk shit, and like all the ex-college athletes will sit around the couch and play that. I know Assassin's Creed I'll play. I'm sure I will be upset about things, but I've really enjoyed the franchise. Like I'm just gonna play. So when I work in such a freelance life where I have to talk about specific products as I get hired for them, I really only pay attention to those in the moments that I have to deal with them. Sounds so weird to say.
But what shoes will you buy this fall?
You know what? They have those release dates out, and I just mark them on my calendar, and I'll just see what's where.
Well,
But
let's not forget
it's also
about
the funniest thing
Go
to
ahead.
not spoil, because if I don't pay attention to stuff like certain titles from certain first-party Xbox studios that I may have already played before, but if I don't pay attention to details and things in my mind, then I don't accidentally say them before they're ready.
So go ahead and
or
say 'em.
like even on the well, I don't know.
God damn it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, let's not forget about Avengers. Some people might, I don't know. It's hard to get excited for that game. I saw Thor juggling a soldier in the air for like 30 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck? You're beating the shit out of him with a hammer made from the heart of a dying star. Like, this is a cop. What are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to kind of get into it, kind of like Spider-Man. It was jarring with Spider-Man 2 at first, kicking people off buildings and juggling people, but I mean, BitCloud Avengers, are you excited for that at all based on what you've seen? I feel like they got to talk about it a lot more before I'm like,
Yeah, I want more details for that, especially better, more polished gameplay compared to what we saw before. Because remember when they were cutting back and forth, they were showing how seamless how it jumps from each particular character, like Iron Man and whatnot. Iron Man
shit seamless about any of that shit. The 24 frames per second. Yeah, I don't know. I heard it was
Iron
pretty
Man was
badly
cool.
optimized.
Iron Man was cool. Captain America's gameplay was the one, me personally, I think stood out the most out of all of them.
It looked more like Arkham or Spider-Man combat, right?
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. I actually wanted the Captain America style game, kind of like that, more grounded like that. So that's probably the closest I'll ever get to it.
I mean, they did make a Captain America game that was very similar to the Arkham type stuff. I don't know if you, yeah, it came out last gen. I mean, other than Cyberpunk, Avengers, there isn't a whole lot confirmed for the rest of this year. We got Valhalla. In terms of big
Tony
titles, Tony Hawk. That's not a big. I'm talking about big.
I'm fucking stoked
blockbusters.
for that one.
Big title, Dying Light 2.
Dying Light 2.
Yeah,
Dying Light 2 for sure. Obviously Batman. We got.
That's not even. It's not even confirmed to exist yet. We know it's out there, but
No, we gonna get that. That's
I'm talking about officially though. Like officially, what is there?
We know of. Okay. Cyberpunk. That's.
Chat, help us out.
Cyberpunk,
Avengers.
Is EA bringing out?
Avengers.
EA, I think we heard about a remaster for Mass Effect that might come out this year.
Mass Effect.
Mass
Yeah,
Effect
it's either
1
that or
and
Dead
2
Space.
remaster supposedly is coming.
And there was supposed to be a Bad Company 2 remaster, but that never happened. So I mean, I must have been wrong there. I don't know what the fuck was happening.
Liars.
Yeah.
What was Mafia's tweet about?
Mafia
today?
has a
Was that
remaster
today?
coming, and they've got 2 remasters, right? 1 and 2, I think. Mafia 1 and 2. Colt, do you think anything at all?
No, you just like BitCloud just covered one of my favorites, Dying Light 2. Yeah, I mean, there's too many.
Pretty excited
Delayed
for that one.
indefinitely. Cool.
But I mean, we're going to see delays run for the next year, I think, because of everything we've gone through since the beginning of the spring.
Yeah.
So
Battletoads?
it's going to be really Oh gosh, I've said this when we were talking about Battletoads. I really hope that De La La Studios has like gone back to the drawing board and is kind of revamping that. We haven't heard anything from that, and that's just why.
Crisis, the remaster.
No, I wanted Crisis 2, but that's just me. No, I want new stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
tired of remasters and ports.
I'm tired of remasters personally. It's like
we've had fun with
one game
remasters.
I'm looking forward to from EA, and ironically, they didn't announce it yet, but that's Fallen Order 2.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna announce that yet until there's
Yeah,
something to
that's not
show.
happening yet.
Like
D-Batch, I mean, what are you looking forward to, D? What are you looking forward to benchmarking?
stuff that's officially revealed, but I was looking forward to the Superman game. That's been rumored forever.
Yeah, to my knowledge, they're not making one right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like a new UFC game for the next generation consoles.
Fight night.
Or, you know what? There's been some legitimate rumors circulating about Fight Night, and I've seen like Lennox Lewis tweeted out about it. These guys don't usually jump on things like that. They're probably they're probably told, to
I don't think the UFC games did all that well, D. I think they're going back to boxing, and it works a lot better on a controller.
When THQ made them, remember? THQ and Ukes did it.
Was awesome, man. That game, it's really intricate. The controls, like, you really gotta learn it, and it's pretty accurate too. So I can understand a lot of gamers getting into that game, but yeah, we're due for.
I platinumed the entire series pretty much, aside from 3. I'm working on that now, but yeah, it's good.
Man, that Gaethje Ferguson fight. Whew.
Oh,
anyway, hey, let me take a quick glance here at
Ferguson fight broke my heart down. That's all I gotta say.
Let me run through this and double. I'm in the wrong chat here.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer 2. I'm really looking forward to.
Come again?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer 2.
Come again?
It was good, actually.
Just joking.
I was going to pull Tim aside for a few minutes.
Apparently, this game is still happening.
Tell me more about this.
We're pretty desperate times, right, Tim? Hashtag SnowRunner.
Well, I got news for you. I heard it's 30 frames per second, but it is ultra quality.
Oh,
just so you know.
Shit. Hey,
Tim Dog.
I'm
was
looking.
anybody interested in Skull and Bones? You remember that game from
Nobody
Ubisoft?
gets.
Yeah,
You mean the Sea of
game.
Thieves killer? Where's that bitch at?
It killed itself.
That's good call.
That's a year out.
The Harry
How
Potter.
many years has that been out?
Harry Potter was supposed to go and get a game too.
Oh yeah,
Crap,
that's right.
I forgot what game that I really, really want to see this year.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie or Conquer.
Oh God. Well,
you got Banjo-Kazooie, but he's in Smash.
Let me thank everybody who showed up at the show today, guys. Again, over 2,000 tuning in on this random Tuesday. We do appreciate it, guys. You make this show one of the biggest Xbox podcasts in the world. Hit that like button if you haven't. Retweet it out and share it. Show a friend. Put it on a forum so they can bitch and lie about what we've said. Do appreciate it, guys. And of course, everyone who showed up here, everyone in chat, all the super chats and the support. Couldn't get to them. I don't want to break up and crush the dynamic of the conversation, but I did try. And again, shout out to Chris Grimmel and everybody. We need to have Optimus Code on it. I talked to him recently to DM, just kind of checking up and seeing how things were. We do need to have Optimus back on. A great guy. Had a lot of fun with him. And he keeps the shit real, too. So I do appreciate that. He crushes these fucking lying idiots on Twitter, which I love. And again, thanks to everyone who makes the show what it is in the panel. Phenomenal panel and chemistry. And we really are. We hang out every day almost. And I think that kind of shows through a lot. So we get so many messages of support. And again, you guys are the best. We're going to do some outros, guys. I'm going to put up a game giveaway post here on Patreon here soon. If you're not a patron, hit that link down below. Become a channel member today. I do appreciate it. It really, really helps because I got a serious gaming addiction. No, I'm kidding. We don't use that word. So, Cold Eastwood, man, thanks for. That's what Phil said. Some guy in an interview was like, "Yeah, that's addicting." Phil's like, "We don't use that word." So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny, but
as he taps one of his veins,
he pushes it back in his head. Colt, man, thanks for again, good show, man. Where can people find you, bud? What have you been playing, and what do you think about this fantastic chat?
The chat's great. I love the chat. It's been a really good show, and it's really cool to have BitCloud on here because we've never talked, and of course having Rukari on, so that's nice, man. It's really good. You can find me at Cold Eastwood on Twitter and YouTube when I can get around to making a video. Thanks for everything, guys. It's really power us through the pandy. Like when we just been doing nothing, sitting at home and playing through our backlog. So thank you for entertaining us and talking to us on chat. It means a lot.
Yeah. By the way, Tim, they want a code for Buffy the Vampire 2 now. Get it in there. Also, Big Cloud, brother, thanks for coming on, man. We had a one-on-one not too long ago on your channel. It was a lot of fun. What were your thoughts when you realized that everyone you knew was wrong about everything and we were always right?
Okay.
Hey, what have you been playing and where can people find you, bud?
Shit. Right now I'm going through Spyro. Clear that off the list because I'm a platinum chaser. Yeah, I'm platinum chaser. You know me.
Gotcha.
Kind of clearing that out the way. Got one more game.
We don't even have platinums over here, so enjoy.
You already know, but no, I appreciate the invite. It was a blast. Colt, officially talking to you was awesome, and everybody else, Zucker. It's been a while, but good to talk to you. And of course, D-Batch and Tim, always a pleasure. Appreciate the invite again. Shout out to everybody in the chat. That like button, show us fire.
Also, D-Batch, brother, what have you been playing, bud, and where can people find you?
I've been playing much, just a little bit of Call of Duty. You guys can find me on Twitter, of course, at D_Batch, and at YouTube at D-Batch. Check out my latest videos. Did an epic rant on Ubisoft and some PlayStation news that came down today. Yeah.
Hey, also, we got to give a shout out to the mods of the chat as well. Lethal, Obi-Wan, and of course, everyone, even Rukari's a mod even. Now, everyone who's a mod that does work and, keeps the chat in line. I don't necessarily realize how important that is to a lot of people because I can't focus on the chat. So I don't know, everyone's different. So those guys keep the chat as orderly and how you guys like it, and just give those guys a thumbs up in the chat. Give them a follow on Twitter and stuff like that. We've also got Rukari Austin. Again, thanks for joining us. Do appreciate it, man. It was great having your insight on the show, especially.
I'm so glad you let me crash. I know you threw that open invitation out there, but
you
I did like the double Dutch dance, where I was sitting there like, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? Okay, we're gonna see.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got to do it, man.
Where can people find you, man? Where can people find you? Where have you been playing?
I would say the two places right now, last time we spoke, I talked about doing that content creation bit, and I'm happy to say that I've finally fucking started streaming. So Twitch is the one spot where I've been every day. Been up there for like the last 2 months straight every day. Like, I'm just going to throw that out there. So that's Rick Hizzle, and Twitter's the other one. Everything else I'll figure out in due time. Come say hi to me though. I finally got affiliate. I got subs and shit. I'm happy.
Wow.
While I sit here in my chair.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's a grind, man. Good luck, and I'll definitely be able to check you out. Fonz actually left, didn't he? So shout out to Fonz early. He had to go to work. Follow him at the Grounded Gamer on YouTube. He doesn't fucking make any videos. xCloud Tim Dog, buddy. Where can people find you? What have you been playing?
You can find me on Twitter, xCloud Tim Dog, also on Xbox Live, xCloud Tim Dog. I've been playing Streets of Rage 4, some UFC. Shout out to Big Cloud Gaming. Thanks for coming on, and Carrie. Great stuff tonight, and see you next week.
And then we've got little Zalker in his little tiny armor, tingling around the background. What have you been playing? And because you actually been playing games since this pandemic, I'm proud, man. What have you been playing? What have you been playing, and where can people find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube, Zalker87, Twitter, Zalker87, or you're recommended. Hey, but no, I'm just joking. But no, I've been playing a lot of Bleeding Edge. That game actually surprised the shit out of me. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've been playing it.
You want to explain why you took months and months to play the game you damage control?
Because of Doom. Let's just be fucking real. Doom.
Because of Doom. Come on.
All right, it was Doom. Gears Tactics.
It was your fraud. That's the answer.
I'm a fraud, but I played it and it's fucking great. I'm almost at 1,000 out of 1,000 on it, and then I've been playing.
There's like 9 achievements.
Yeah, there's like 10. And then I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, beat that on Veteran. I've been playing Streets of Rage 4. That's a lot of fun. And I'm starting The Last of Us tonight for the first time. Never played it. And then this weekend, I'm going to be playing Sea of Thieves because they brought out a shit ton of content. So
good stuff.
That pandy life.
And you'll be looking at it on that new OLED.
I was playing last night, bro. So good looking, bro. Like,
mind blowing. Like,
yeah, people were killing me. I was like, I don't care.
Zalker's like, this Vizio, I'm sure it's not that much better.
I did. I was a fraud. And then I got the OLED and I was like, well, fuck me.
Well,
but everybody in chat, you guys are awesome.
Honestly, I think everyone, pretty much everyone has an OLED on this panel. I got 2 of them. And again, like I say, you take gaming seriously, man. You get serious, right? Some of us put our money into I don't know, crack rocks. I like OLEDs. I don't know what to say. So again, thanks for everyone coming on and joining us live, and everyone who will tune in. Tell a friend and subscribe, hit the bell icon and more. I got a video out. I'll have a video out Thursday, and kind of be a little more consistent. And I've been playing. I beat Modern Warfare 2, the remaster. If you're wondering, it's absolutely worth your $20. And that no Russian mission is definitely. Even today, I'm like, man, all right, got time to
it
unload.
hits different now that I'm a real adult.
I
Holy
know,
hell.
right? Like it's
real adult.
It's
I mean, I was like 22, 23. No, 24, 25 when it came out.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
now,
it's a little different, but I mean, you know what?
Yeah, Dealer Goes Colt, you get a rare achievement if you kill everyone in the airport. I'm like, okay.
You just hear Colt unloading.
Nothing but my guilt. I'm like, well, it's an LMG, so I don't have to reload.
I did the same thing to him with the dog scene where you got to shoot the dog in Wolfenstein. I didn't do it, but I wanted to see if there was an achievement, so I lied to Colt and tried to get him to do it, and he did it.
Things Cole would do for an achievement, man.
Like,
You
I can't
savage.
shoot the dog.
Colt did it, guys.
achievement.
So I mean, again, chat, give Colt a thumbs up, give the show a thumbs up, and we do appreciate it, guys. Yeah, but Modern Warfare, I've been playing a little bit of Gears Tactics and just kind of all over the board, actually. And Odyssey, I wanted to show you guys this footage. Even though the stream is having issues, I reduced the bitrate. It could have looked better, but again, just an idea. This is a server grade. What was a server grade CPU basically with 32 threads, and it's not a gaming CPU. And I'm able to crush 60 FPS no problem. Series X has a better CPU for gaming than this thing, and it's got more GPU power as well. So there's no excuse. And I guess we'll see what happens ultimately. It has to be confirmed, but hey, let us know all of your thoughts in the comments and all that good stuff while I try to get this damn page to load so I can finally end the stream. And again, thank you guys for what you do. We're out.
Peace.